On this latest episode, well, if you guys are big fans of the Japanese Yoshi wrestling scene, you guys are in the right channel. So today we're going to be reviewing two particular events. The first one, of course, goes back from late December of 2025, one of the final shows of 2025, Yu's retirement show, Thanks for the Meal. Now, as you all know, that was the day where Yu officially retired from pro wrestling, and it had a very interesting match card I never would have imagined, but it seems a lot of fun. And then we move on, of course, with T Hart's one day tag team tournament and also slash Yumiko Hotta's birthday. So if you guys are not familiarized with this one, don't worry, I got you covered. And then, of course, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates, give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping, let's get cracking. So let's begin, of course, with Yu's retirement show, Thanks for the Meal. Okay, Yu's retirement show, Thanks for the Meal. Now, this happened on December 28th in Shinjuku FACE. Now, for those who are not familiarized with Yu, I'll give you a brief description of her. She is a Yoshi wrestler who's been wrestling in Japan for a long time. Started out in Tokyo Pro Wrestling, and then she left, going freelancing. She's been with various promotions, of course. Seedling, Sendai Girl. She even appeared in Stardom. She was that one wrestler that faced Kamitani and Starlight Kid in that coffin match, if you guys ever saw that one. She, of course, her remaining months, many of you may have heard and surprised that her remaining months she signed with Sendai Girls as her final way to end her career, which was very interesting because we know she was a freelancer. And of course, it was a bit of surprising that she chosen to retire. I mean, she's still young and healthy, but I'm sure that she was thinking about it for quite some time. Now, this show particular, of course, basically it opened up with tag team action, and we have some of the girls from, of course, Sendai making their presence. We have Yuna, of course, teaming up with Mei Shruga to take on Manami and Yurika Oka. Now, of course, when it comes to tag teams, we know in some capacity, like, for example, Yuna and Mei Shruga, well, they are a makeshift team, if you guys can notice that. because of course, Yuna is a Sendai Girls and Mei Suga's from Joko Pro. Obviously, you can tell that maybe there's a possibility they can win or not. But when it comes to Manami and Yuriko Oka, well, you probably know they can work together due to the fact they have teamed up often. I mean, Yuriko Oka's normal tag team partner is Mio Momono from Marvelous and Manami with Ryo Mizunami. So basically, they know how to work together pretty well. But however, you probably ask yourself how would this will go. Well, obviously we know Mei Sure plays some interesting moves, but that doesn't do any help for her because in a way, Yuna was the one who ended up taking a jumping knee strike by Manami, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match is a battle royal. Now, this is not your typical battle royal for anybody who knows. Either you eliminated, of course, by pinfall, submission, or over the top. Now, we had many wrestlers that showed up. Of course, Ryu Mizunami, Hiroyu Matsumoto. We had, of course, Sakura Iroda did a little cosplay, played both Hashimoto and Yu, which was really fun. We did had, of course, who else? I think Yuki Kamafuku showed up, I believe. And of course, we did have some guys that appeared, of course. Super Dango Machine, Super Machine, I guess. He showed up. And so was, of course, Shinjiro Tagagi guy, from DDT. So there was a lot of wrestlers that showed up. But if you guys probably wonder asking me who won the whole thing, well, it was Miyuki Takase. She actually walked away with the win. But it was a pretty good one. So I have to say, loved it. But however, the main event is one that you definitely will love to see, and this one was a very emotional one for obvious reasons because Yu's final opponent is her own tag team partner, fellow Team 200 kilogram Shihiro Hashimoto. Now, this is like you can say the ultimate battle between them because these two are powerhouses. If you guys ever seen how they are as a tag team, and of course, it's a bit of a bittersweet because who knows what if it happened if they continue on, but it was a great match. I mean, it's unclear how this would have ended, but many people would have assumed in some capacity this match would have ended with you, but no. Hashimoto, of course, was the one who picked up the win by pinfall, and then of course it was over. But we did had a very emotional post match promo between the two of them. I mean, I'm sure Hashimoto didn't want to pin her, but she wanted to win. And of course, everybody in the ceremony, when you guys saw the retirement ceremony, people appeared with, of course, with some bouquet flowers to you. We did have, of course, a very interesting chop maneuver. Of course, you likes to chop people once in a while, and that plays out. And of course, they did show in a bit of her career from beginning all the way to the end. But it was a very emotional moment, and I think many people are saddened that she's retiring, but is things have to come to an end. And I have to say, it was a pretty good show. If you guys haven't got the chance to see it, go ahead. So check it out. So I think that's pretty much it right now with this show. Let's move on to the next one, which is, of course, T Hearts. Okay, T Hearts, uh, Manda, uh, you, Yarus Musa Masu 1 day tag team tournament. But it's also slashed Yumiko Hotta's birthday. If you guys never heard of T Hearts, T Hearts is not actually a promotion. It's more like an organization that was created by Yumiko Hotta. Many wrestlers come from there. For example, um, Rico um, Riko the one from with Magenta with Maria. So yeah, she came from there. But her current students are none other than Miku Kane and of course Sayaka Toyota, who is the niece of another Toyota member. So that sets it up. And of course, this 1 day tag team tournament is basically it's a tag team, but you're not teaming up with your regular partners. It's mostly like makeshift teams. We had wrestlers from various promotions appearing. I'll probably explain a little bit about that. But yes, But we opened up, of course, with Yumiko Hotta, Miku Kane, and Sayaka Toyota, of course, making their presence known, giving a bit of a promo of the opening of the show and that sort of thing. Now, let's begin with the tournament. Now, we only have 3 tournament matches, so basically it's going to be a very interesting one. The first one we have Chi Chi teaming up with Benny to take on Nori and Suri. Now, what I find interesting for those who don't know, we have seen, of course, Chi Chi and Suri team up a few times. Not to mention Chi Chi admires Suri because how tough she is and very powerful when it comes hitting hard. And she learns a lot. And not to mention, Chi Chi actually uses the Uranagi on her. But Chi Chi can team up with anybody if they're on the same page, but Suri's tag team partner is Nori from another promotion, and she has some amazing kicks. You know, she does have like a bit of a martial arts stance, which is pretty cool. But however, you can tell Benny, of course, we all know her. You know, she is very, very aggressive, but unfortunately, aggressive enough didn't do any stopping for Suri because she was the one who picked up the win on Chi Chi with the Uranagi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, we have Miku Kane teaming up with the Queen of Hardcore, Dash Shizako, and they take on Yuna and Ryo Mizunami. Now, of course, we know that Ryo Mizunami has played parts in Sendai Girls before. Yuna, of course, we all know her reputation. Um, but it was a very interesting teaming up. But with that, when it comes to Dash, she's a bit of a aggressive wrestler that's willing to put you down no matter what. But in the end, we did see, of course, a jackknife by Miku Kane that picked up in a fantastic win against Yuna. And just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. Now, I don't know if the rule of thumb of her being the Sendai Girls Junior World Champion applies, but we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our final match from this one, we have Media Koga from Seedling. She teams up with Big Hash herself, Shihiro Hashimoto, to take on Honoka from Wave, and her tag team partner is Lady Destroyer, Hiroyo Matsumoto. Now, of course, it would have been obvious because we have 2 wrestlers on the opposite side who are powerhouses. I'm talking about Hashimoto and Matsumoto. So obviously that would have been played out on that because it's exactly what we'd expect. But unfortunately, that match didn't go according to plan for either of them because the match ended in a 10-minute time limit draw. So that means that Nori and Suri will face Miku Kane and Dash Shizako. So we'll get to that in a bit. Now, our next match, we have Sayaka Toyota taking on Kaoru Ito. So, of course, many of you guys know Kaoru Ito. She's a veteran wrestler. She's good friends with, of course, with Hotta, and she is a bit of a teacher to both Natsupoi and to Suri as well. But when it comes to her, she's teaching something to Sayaka Toyota, who made her debut last year. And of course, she is good. She knows exactly what she's doing, but she's not there yet in the highest level that we would expect. But of course, you cannot defeat veterancy. It was Ito that defeated her by using, of course, the double foot stomp. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. And then we did see a post match promo from Toyota. I don't know what she said, but I guess everybody's behind her. Now, our next match, a very interesting match you probably wouldn't expect. We have Kuroshio Tokyo Japan, also many people known as Ikemen Jiro. He teams up with himself. Well, a cosplay of himself. We're talking about, of course, Shin Tokyo Japan. Completely is Sakura Hiroda. So basically, she dressed up like him and does that. So I thought it was fun. But their opponents, well, is Takako Inoue and Yumiko Hotta. So basically, 2 veteran wrestlers, of course, that would definitely try to pick up the win. And not to mention their usual tricks. Could Ikemen's usual ways don't work, except when you are doing the jacket thing. But in the end, it was in fact a suplex by Hotta onto Kuroshio that picked up the win. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our main event is the final of the one-day tag team tournament. We have Miku Kane and Dash Shizako taking on Nori and Suri. And I thought the match was pretty good. I mean, very aggressive, very, hitting hard, that type of thing. And that's exactly what I've expected because we know these ladies can go all the way. Not to mention, Suri has been training with Miku Kane a lot because we know she wants to see her succeed because she often gives her enough time when they're teaming together to get a bit of her feet wet facing the toughest competitors. And of course, that's exactly what she tried to do until she ended up on the wrong side of the Uronagi by Suri. And just like that, one, two, three, Suri and Nori picked up the win. And just like that, it was over. So pretty much it. It was a pretty good show. I enjoyed, and there'll be more shows like these that we could see. But for right now, we're officially done with the reviews. Let's move on, of course, with our last and final thing: news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin, of course, as always, with upcoming events. Now, the first ones we're going to start out is with GCW. Now, as you know, they already announced for two events in the month of March, so we're like only 2 months away. The first one, of course, is So Alive that will take place in Columbus, Ohio on March 7th, and they just announced wrestlers that would be participating. We have, of course, the faction known as Vandal 48, Bear Bronson, tag team known as the Brothers of Construction, YDNP, which is Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, and finally, Violence is Forever, which is Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini. And then, of course, the following day on March 8th in Chicago, for Ransom, they announced Acticus Koger, and of course, along with Vandal 48, will be there too. Matt Tremont, Bear Bronson, Gringo Loco, and of course, Samurai del Sol. Many of you know him as Kalisto. So, yes, and I'm sure there'll be more names announced for both these shows. Now, moving on. So, by the time this video is out, it's already been told. Rey Mysterio will be appearing on the debut of Fox from AAA, of course. As you all remember, I reported that, of course, AAA will be appearing on the Fox network, in, of course, in the Mexico, Central, South American channels over there. That's from what I've been hearing. And Rey Mysterio will be there, so that's something I've been aware. As you know, New Japan will have their U.S. show, New Beginning USA, on the 27th of February. They announced that David Finlay and, of course, the Knockout Brothers, Oscar and Yuto Ice, will be present there. So that's going to be interesting. And then finally, a match has been announced for the women's promotion in the UK, Pro Wrestling Eve, for the Wrestle Queendom on the 8th of March. Amira Blair will take on Harley Cameron, so that's going to be a lot of fun to enjoy. Now, moving on to some developments. Many of you may have heard, of course, that the Rascals are going to be making their appearance on AEW soon. However, Fightful reports that Myron Reed was opened up to, of course, have Myron Reed part of the Rascals. So basically, Myron Reed was open to stay with TNA, but Tony Khan specifically said, "No, I want all of you guys." So that's exactly what he intended to do. However, of course, his teammate Zachary Wentz, well, they were offering him a new deal, but there was nothing new about it from what they're saying. So that's the reason he didn't take the offer. Now, this is a very interesting one. As you all know, Persephone has signed a dual contract with both AEW and CML. However, this is something that we have seen before in the past with WWE. As you know, they've been scouting new talent, especially coming from CML. Their idea is, of course, is to bring in talent from CML and make them jump the ship all the way to AAA. However, Persephone has already made the deal, and it seems that WWE had their eyes set on her since Forbidden Door London, if you guys remember that. So that practically was something that was already been decided. So basically, you can say that WWE are a little butthurt that they didn't get her. So some fans are probably happier with her. We know that the dual contract has benefited well for both AW and CML, and that's something that I'm sure many people understood. As you all know, Maya Yihiki, as you probably remember, she is been wrestling recently. She came back. She even recently participated in the Risa Sarah retirement show. Apparently, if you guys remember, not too long ago, she had an injury that put her out sideline for quite some time. But she had to put this out on her social media recently, and this is what she said. This is what was going on. Yihiki announced that, of course, that she will be undergo a second surgery on her left arm on February 13th, followed by an indefinite hiatus from the ring. While her ulna healed properly, her radius remains broken a year post-op and will require bone grafting from her pelvis. Despite the doctors calling her surgery unrealistic and a warning of risk, she chose to return to compete. Meanwhile, matches including her 10th anniversary show, the Wrestling Along retiring Risa Sarah, she says that she has no regrets of and promises to return to the ring. So yes, so basically she returned in the ring premature from what they're saying, and it's understandable. Many of you may have heard this, that recently there's been talk about talent from New Japan, especially those who are being released. Or Dave Meltzer reports that WWE has an interest in Gabe Kidd, but there was a recent report saying that some believe that maybe Gabe Kidd will remain in New Japan, but we'll just wait and see about that. Now, many of you remember Catalina. Basically, she congratulated her longtime rival, Persephone, on her, dual contract. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's amongst those two that will be getting a dual contract. And this is what she said. Um, like she said, well, I is in Spanish, but yes. But yeah, so she congratulated her on that. So it's great to hear that from her. I think that's pretty much it what we have for right now. So let's call it a day. Okay, guys, so I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have AEW Collision Maximum Carnage as a top priority. Now, I am aware we do have Stardom shows for Osaka today, so we'll see how that rolls. And TNA Genesis, I'm not 100% sure about that one, so we'll put that hopefully in the next episode after that. But we'll see. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is. And until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.